What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dabrunski here. In today's video, I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about a couple key issues that I've seen brought up in numerous different ways. So whether it's D2JSP, the official Blizzard forums, my YouTube comment section, my Twitch streams, or other content creators, everyone has sort of weighed in on this or sort of given their 2 cents. So I thought I'd make a quick video doing the same. But I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about the potential introduction of a solo self-found league, which would kind of address the level 99 controversy for the first ladder, which I don't really think that there was, but we'll spend a little bit of time talking about that. Then I do want to touch on the potential of adding new areas that would sort of shift up the dynamic to raising to level 99. And I do want to talk about a couple content ideas that I would like to see implemented in terms of itemization that would sort of shift up the meta a little bit. Then finally, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about some quality of life injections that I think the game truly does need in addition to quick cast. So it's going to be sort of an open kind of talking video where, again, any feedback below in the comment section is fine. As long as you're not a dick, I would appreciate any feedback. You don't have to agree. It's just sort of like an open-end talking video piece. But that's pretty much it. Quick reminder before we jump in, just want to let you guys know that I do stream twice a week on Twitch. So if you do enjoy this YouTube content, any follows on that platform would be very much appreciated. Got the link for my Twitch channel in the description below. That being said, guys, let's jump in. So the very first thing that I want to mention before we jump into any of the talking points of this video is that my experience so far in the ladder has been phenomenal. It's been at least 1,000% better server-wise compared to the launch of the game. The introduction of new character classes, playing with summon druids, other builds like the Foden, using an Act 5 mercenary, it's all been a very fun experience, and it's been a lot better than the launch of the game. So that is a huge thing that I just want to get out there first. The changes have been phenomenal, and I'm super happy with them for the most part. So the first thing I want to spend a little bit of time talking about is the introduction of a solo self-found league and why we're even discussing it in the first place. So essentially, solo self-found league would just be single player, but an online experience, so you're racing to level 99, but you can't interact or trade with other people. The purpose behind this is to try and eliminate any advantages that certain communities might have between being able to get extra people for leveling, or rely on gifts or certain items, or just having an unfair advantage over other people. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is, I guess, that controversy to racing level 99 with streamers in the communities. I really don't think you can fault people that have spent years making content for a game to then rely on their communities for a ladder. Is it maybe a little bit of an unfair advantage? Sure, but I'm not going to fault somebody for doing that if they've spent their, hours and hours and months and years making content for a certain video. It's kind of hard for me to fault somebody for doing that. But the introduction of a solo self-found league would eliminate that and make a more fair level playing field to Racing 99. But the big problem here is that in D2R, if you're only playing players 1 difficulty and you don't have a player's X command, it's impossible to reach level 99 in players 1 difficulty, or virtually impossible. So that would have to be changed, and whether or not that is ever introduced, I don't know, but I'm not against the introduction of a solo self-found league, because I think more options for players to experience the game in a different way is not necessarily a bad thing. And then I think in the grand scheme of things, if you already have classic, softcore, hardcore, non-ladder, softcore, hardcore, and you have ladder, hardcore, and softcore, I wouldn't think it's that big of a deal to introduce another league on top of that that's just a solo self-found league. So another softcore and hardcore version of that. Again, whether or not it'll happen, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree or disagree, but I do think more ways to play the game is not necessarily a bad thing, and I don't think it would be too hard to implement. Again, I'm not a game developer, but that's kind of my 2 cents on the solo self-found league thing. I do think it could potentially be a good thing. Whether or not it happens, I don't know, but I'm not really opposed to it. Now, in regards to the race to level 99, the idea has been put forward to introduce new area levels that would sort of shift up the dynamic of farming Neolthak, Diablo, and Bale to get experience from 98 to 99. I do actually think this is a great idea, and they kind of have the basis for a mapping system that's sort of already in the game. Because if you think about it, you farm 3 keys, put them in your cube, combine it for a red portal that takes you to a randomized area to farm the mini Ubers. Why not introduce a consumable item that drops after you've killed Bale? It's a map that you right click on and then opens up a red portal. Now have that map spawn different attributes like no fire immune monsters, no cold immune monsters, no lightning immune monsters, extra magicifying, maybe ghosts in that map, that kind of thing. This has been introduced in other Diablo 2 mods like Path of Diablo and Project Diablo 2, but I think that that would be a great way to sort of add additional content besides just farming the same areas over and over again that are in the game. So I think this would be a good change, and I'm all for it. Although, kind of segue into my next point, there are a couple other changes I would like to see first, and that would be the shifting up of some of the items in the game. I think there's numerous super rare items that are basically never used. So whether it's, items like Stormspire, Tyrael's Might, Soul Drainers, Templar's Might, Seraphim Amulet, there's so many rare uniques that are never used. In addition to, I think, for the most part, all of the full sets except for the Tel'Rashus set, like the 7-piece character endgame sets, they're like almost never used besides Tel'Rashus set. So I would really like to see some itemization updates in regards to some of those rare items to make them more useful, because one of the coolest things about this ladder was experiencing new characters. So like the Fist Evans Paladin, pairing that with an Act 5 Mercenary that had Plague and, Lawbringers for different stat sticks for Cleansing Aura and Sanctuary Aura was really cool. I would like to see that taken even further with just new possibilities with new existing items that are sort of like just give us other options from those rare items that drop that we never use. That's what I'm trying to say, the easy way to put it. I would like to see that first, and then an introduction of a mapping system after that. And the final topic point that I want to discuss is some quality of life updates that I really do think would make the experience of playing D2R better. I want to say that I think Quickcast has been the single greatest change to the game. I literally cannot go back to playing the original way that you would cast spells in D2. I think that Quickcast has been just a phenomenal update. But on top of that, I would actually like to see a loot filter. Now, I've advocated this in previous videos. I'm going to advocate again. I genuinely think it's a crying shame to have such a good-looking game covered with so much loot clutter. I really don't think it's a skill to sift through loot. A lot of people say you're making the game easier, and I don't know if quality of life is making the game easier. I just think it's making it less of a headache to sift through loot. I think the fun experience of the game is killing monsters and getting items to make your character stronger, not hunting through a whole bunch of random shit that's dropped on the ground. Again, that's just my take. Feel free to let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree or disagree. But I really do think that a basic loot filter that could remove items like stamina pots, thawing pots, bolts, arrows, gold piles under a certain value, cracked items, if we could reduce or eliminate certain potions like minor pots, greater pots, like whatever, that would go a long way to making the game a little bit more user-friendly, again, in my opinion. And the second much needed quality of life injection, I think, would be a currency tab. This would alleviate the need to have dedicated mules for things like mid-runes or jewels for crafting. If we just had a dedicated stash tab that we could stack things like runes, jewels, organs, keys, etc., it would make for such a more user-friendly experience than having to make mules to hold those items. Like, I just recently did a 75 crafted caster amulet video, and it was a lot of work to collect all of those material and then have it sitting like in my somewhat limited stash. Even though the shared tabs has been a massive quality of life update, I just think that being able to stack like 100 Ralvarans and 100 perfect amethysts on top of each other would make the crafting experience just so much more enjoyable and just make the gameplay in general more user-friendly. But that is pretty much everything I want to talk about. Again, guys, let me know in the comment section below if you guys completely disagree, or if you agree, or you think I missed anything major, or if you would like to tweak anything. I really just wanted to sort of create an open dialogue for maybe potential updates in the future for D2R. Any feedback is welcome, as long as you're not a dick. And besides that, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you could throw a like on it, that'd be awesome. And I'll catch you guys on my next video or live stream. Peace out.